Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It feels like the longest time since I've sat down and done a vlog, and I actually thought it'd been about a year, but looking back it's only been 3 months since my last vlog, which is totally mind-blowing to me. I genuinely thought it'd been at least 10 months to a year, which is crazy. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into vlogging. I have a lot coming up on the channel. I really want to be consistent on here, and I've said that 1,000 times, but I do really want to be consistent on here. Thought it'd be a little bit weird if I just kind of sat and talked to the camera for the entire time, so I'm going to do my makeup at the same time and let's get straight into it. To be honest, I feel like I have so much to say and I don't really know where is the best place to start with this. I think one of the main reasons I stopped filming was because I had surgery, and I want to cover all of that in this video. I want to talk a lot about that. I don't want to go into too much depth because people that aren't interested in it, I don't want to bore you all, so I will do a probably will do a separate video for that because I feel like it goes into a lot, but I'm going to cover that a little bit in this one. But I'm going to answer some of the questions that I've got. So the first question I had quite a few times was, where are the vlogs gone? When are vlogs coming back? Will you be vlogging again? And the simple way to put that is yes, the vlogs are coming back. I would realistically, I'd love to start 2 a week. Am I gonna do that? Probably not. Mainly because, to be completely honest, I don't feel like my life is that interesting to have enough to do like a couple of vlogs every week. But I would really like to do weekly vlogs. I'd love to do more than that. I just don't think I have the content to do more than that. Plus everything else I'm doing, like my normal long form on my other channel, my TikTok videos, my YouTube shorts. Like I don't feel like I have enough time to do everything. So I'm going to start with 1 a week and see if I could possibly build up from there. I'm really excited for the content though. I feel like 2026 for me is going to be the year where I really bring the lifestyle, relatable, just like real life kind of content back. Because I feel like I've just been pushed into a little corner, especially with TikTok, of like the kind of content that I create. And I don't want to do that anymore. Like I like the content I create, but I want to do more lifestyle stuff, things that feel more real and just bring my personality across, if that makes any sense. I also had a lot of questions about my relationship. So for anyone that didn't know, me and my ex were together for 5 years and we met through work, and I did talk about him quite a lot in my content, and he was on some of my live streams, things like that, and then he kind of just disappeared from the online world. The big reason was we broke up, and I was trying to respect him by not talking about it online. So I'm not going to go into too many details, but the official reason we broke up is because we wanted different things, mainly to do with like living, like where we lived, things like that. There's a lot more to it than that. That was just like the official reason. We weren't very good at communicating, which to me, communication is really important. Like if we argue, I want to sort it out, or if there's a problem, I want to sort it out. And we just wanted a lot of different things in life. Like he didn't like my job, things like that. Don't know, it's hard to go into detail about it without going into detail about it, if you know where I'm coming from. I'm trying to talk about it in a way that's respectful to him, because at the end of the day we did spend 5 years together. So the breakup was mutual, and we both decided it wasn't going to work out and that we would stay friends until about a week later when I got blocked. But in the end, everything works out for a reason and we just weren't meant to be. So I've had a lot of people asking me what my plan is for the new year, if I've got anything coming, anything exciting happening, and I think a lot of it is just taking everything to the next level. So like I said, I do definitely want to be more lifestyle next year, do a lot more content that makes me happy and more that just brings out my personality and things like that. I love what I do now, but I just want to take everything to the next level. I definitely want to bring the vlogging back to a new level as well. I've got a new TikTok. I would love that to do well and take off next year and maybe use that one more than my current account, but we'll see where it goes. I feel like this year I focus so much on TikTok and trying to like bring that back, and next year I really want to focus on Instagram and YouTube. I feel like I've never really focused on Instagram and I could do so much on there, so I really want to take that to the next level. And I have a lot of little plans that I've got and a lot of goals and achievements that I'm really hoping to hit in 2026. The next bit is something I've been wanting to say for a long time and talk about in here for a long time. So I'm going to try my best to keep this concise, but I might end up just blurting everything out and ended up just telling the full story. But basically a couple of years ago I experienced abdominal pain and I had no idea what it was. I ended up having to go to A&E for it because it was really severe, but just putting a little bit of context there, for about 12 years I've had severe chronic leg pain that I've been to every single specialist for. Nobody could work out what was happening, why I was having it or anything like that. Like no one at all had a clue what was going on. So I had this pain in my abdomen, went to A&E and no one knew what was happening. They passed me from specialist to specialist, sent me home, said if it happens again, come back. In the meantime, I'd gone to different doctors, different specialists and had appointments, and everybody just passed me on to someone else and said that was fine and it wasn't anything to do with their department. Had a lot of other symptoms. I always get really, really bad fatigue, like I'm constantly exhausted. I could sleep, for example, 11 hours, wake up and be so tired still. I could sleep for 6 hours and still be as tired, like it makes no sense. But since then I've had a lot of abdomen pain still. I ended up telling my doctor that I thought it was PCOS at the time, because that's what I thought it was. Since then we realised it could be that, but we don't think that's what's actually causing it. We ended up going back and forth a few times, and then came up with the idea of possible endometriosis. Now, my doctor is incredible. She's been helping me through this so much, and she put me on the wait list for gynecology back when she thought I could have PCOS, to talk to a gynecologist about it. Bear in mind, the waitlist for gynecology in hospitals is just crazy. It's ridiculous, and the amount of gynecologists that will actually listen to you is even worse, and this was the hardest thing for me. So I waited about 1.5 years for an appointment with a gynecologist. I then got this appointment, went into this appointment, and from the second I walked through the door, she completely dismissed me. She said, it's not endometriosis, you're too young, you can't have it. I told her about a lot of my symptoms, and I'm sorry if this is a little bit TMI, but for example, my periods, I might have one on, say, Monday. I have one that lasts 9 days long, and then I don't have one for 3 months. Then I'll have one that's 1 day long. Then I have one in 10 days that's 1 day long. Then I have one next month that's 2 days long, nothing for 6 months, like it's that random. And that's without being on the implant or anything like that. I told her about all these different symptoms, about blood clots, about different pains, about this and that. She said all of it was normal, and at the end of the day, what does it matter if you've got it? The treatment is the same. She just kept trying to force the coil on me, and I was not having any of it. Did not want this coil fitted at all. I'm going to be completely honest and vulnerable here. I'm trying to make this as short as I can and not ramble too much. Sorry if the editing's a little bit jaggedy, because I'm just trying to make this short and I keep getting a little bit tongue twisted. So at that point I started crying, and then she was like, do you know what? If it means that much to you, yeah, okay, we'll do the surgery. Because it's basically a laparoscopy, which is like keyhole surgery where they look into your abdomen and they check what's going on, basically, see if you've got it. So I was like, yeah, great, I'd love to do it. At this point, she then started to scare me, well, trying to scare me and tell me, oh, you could die, this, and this could happen to you, which I understand if they've got to tell you, like, you know, possible things that could happen. I understand that, I'm totally fine with that. But it's when she started saying, oh, you know, but if your bowel could pop out, or this, and really getting quite graphic about it, that I wasn't too happy with the way that she was being with it. So I signed the consent form and off we went. We ended up getting a cancellation slot. So I got the surgery a lot sooner than I expected, which I was really grateful for. We only had about 2 days notice before the surgery though, so it was quite stressful. Went into the surgery, found out she was the one that was doing the surgery. At that point, I really wanted to back out because I thought she doesn't want to find anything, so even if she wanted to, she wouldn't. Long story short, had the surgery, came round. There's quite a few issues which I'm not going to go into in this video, but the main one was when I woke up, I wasn't allowed to have anybody with me. I asked them, did you find anything? She said, no, of course not. You don't have endometriosis, you're fine. I was in the, I need to get a powder puff and start doing my powder because I'm just chatting. I was in the recovery room. The nurse came to check me and she said, why do you only have one incision? And I was like, ask the surgeon, I don't know, why do I have only one incision? So they're supposed to do between 2 and 4, usually a minimum of 3 incisions. This surgery is to be able to actually do the surgery properly. She came over, explained it all to me, and basically said, I'm so skinny, I only needed 1, which is totally wrong, because you need 1 for the instrument and 1 for the camera. So that happened. She said, I'm absolutely fine, definitely don't have endometriosis because there were no black bits, and she also said there could be something floating around she couldn't see, which firstly, black bits in endometriosis, it comes in so many colours, and it doesn't float. So that gave me absolutely no confidence in her, and I honestly say, I don't think she wanted to find anything in there, because then she'd have been proven wrong. And I don't think, like, I'll be honest, When I've talked to people about it before, they say you've got to have a specialist do the surgery. That's what everybody says. I was just so desperate for answers that I thought, you know what, I don't mind if it's a specialist or not, I just want the surgery and hopefully someone finds it. I also forgot to mention that before the surgery I had a test done called the EndoSure test, which basically looks for endometriosis through like these signals. I had that test done. Positive test result is between 0.5 and 1. Mine was 0.98, I believe, which is a very strong positive. So that was basically saying that I did have it. So the last vlog that I actually filmed was my surgery vlog, because I wanted to do this into like a little bit of a documentary series and raising awareness and just trying to show people what it is and the symptoms and things like that. But I was so gutted when I came out of it that I physically couldn't face carrying on the vlog, and then since then I just haven't vlogged at all. I am now about 6 months post-op, maybe even less than that. It was done in August and it's now December, so it's a lot less than that actually. August, September, October, November, I'm 4 months post-op. And I don't have any answers yet. I put in an official complaint to the hospital. I'm not a person to complain, but I personally think that due to that and a lot of other issues, I shouldn't have been treated that way. I then got a letter back from the hospital saying that yes, the surgery was done wrong, she shouldn't have done it the way she did, and they basically apologised. I've had another appointment with that same hospital since then and been offered an MRI. They don't want to put me in for more surgery, but since then I'd been put on a different medication that puts my body into like a fake menopause. It's another way of finding out if you have endometriosis or not. If your body responds well to this medication, you have it. If you're, if you still have the same symptoms or you're on it, you don't. My body, of course, responded really, really well. I had no pain, no symptoms while I was on it. However, my mental health, my other bits of health, like I had other pains, just not the same pain as before. My mental health was really bad, and other problems. So I decided to come off it. Like my skin, that was really, really bad as well. I was getting really bad breakouts in my skin. My eyes are really, really sensitive from it, and it's such weird like little symptoms that started occurring. So I came off it, but I didn't know you're supposed to come off it like slowly, so I just went cold turkey and just stopped taking this medication, which has since then made me so much worse, especially mentally. And the doctor I spoke to in my recent appointment at the hospital said, we'll go on this medication, it's like a fake menopause and you'll be on it for 6 months. Bear in mind, I did mine for 6 weeks and it's left me in a bit of a state, to be completely honest. In fact, this is such a vulnerable video, but I want to raise awareness and be completely honest with you guys about where I've been, what I've been up to, what's been happening, and like the real stuff going on in my life, rather than all being like all positive, this got the great life. Like, be really real with you all. So all that's happened, long story short, long story long really. And when I last spoke to him, he wanted to put me on that medicine for 6 months, and I said no because I can't take it. That's when he then offered me an MRI. He doesn't really want me to have another surgery, but I personally think that's going to be the only way they're going to find it. For me, it's not just about knowing whether you've got it or not and trying to treat it. It's actually knowing what's going on with your own body and knowing why you're in so much pain and what's causing it and like what stage it's at, because endometriosis can be really severe. It can get to the point where it literally like glues your organs together. The official stats on NHS website is 1 in 10 women have endometriosis. However, the actual stats is going to be something more like 1 in 4, my specialist told me. Because I had a few private appointments with a specialist, which I promise you was not cheap at all, but it was worth it for me to speak to someone who believed me. Because that's the hardest thing at the moment, is trying to get someone to actually believe you with this. And he said it's more like 1 in 4 women, they just can't get diagnosed because no one believes them, basically. So that's what's been going on. I'm really sorry that was so long. If you're still here at this point, I do apologise for that, because that was a huge rant. I just feel like I've needed to talk about it on here for so long. I have said, oh, I'll talk about it at some point, I'll talk about it at some point. I never have done. And I do think it's something that is really important to be raising awareness of and talking about. So that is a big thing that's been happening. But I feel like the last year has been quite testing on me. I feel like a lot has happened. I've lost quite a few people, and I don't mean people like that have died. I mean people that were in my lives that no longer are. For example, my ex, no longer in each other's lives, which is weird when you spend 5 years with somebody and then that's it, like you literally do not speak anymore. It is strange, But I personally think it's been a bit of a testing year, but 2026 is just going to be my year. And I know I say this myself every single year, but I really do promise myself it this year. I feel like I've done a lot more for myself than last month than I have been doing. So for example, I went and actually spent a little bit of time with my cousin. I've got back into the long form videos, got back into the vlogging. This coming Christmas time, I'm going to be spending some time at the farm that I used to volunteer at. Going to be helping them out with their festive farm, and I am so excited for that. I love the family that work at the farm. That they have their own farm that they live on. It's like a petting farm. They take the animals around schools and teach kids about them. They go to different like events and festivals, and they take them to like old people's homes, things like that. And I absolutely love it. I spend so much time there like cleaning and helping them out, and then when I moved house it just wasn't quite as practical anymore. But I went back the other day to see everybody, have a little bit of a catch up, and I had such a lovely time. Then I heard about their festive farm that they're doing, and they're bringing people in, they're doing loads of activities, things like that, and I offered to go and help. So I'm going to be doing that, which I'm so excited about. I don't know whether I'll vlog it or not. I don't know if I'll just be too busy to vlog it. I just feel like I've got so many positive things coming up at the moment. I'm just really excited for it, and I feel like it's time to finally kind of put me first and do things like vlogging, because I really enjoy vlogging and just kind of make the time for it. But a couple of other questions I got were, what am I listening to at the moment and what am I watching at the moment? Firstly, could you just take a moment for this liner? This is my lip liner, my favourite one right now. It's the Maybelline Lifter Liner, and it's got to a point where there's literally nothing on there. I need to sharpen it, and I have all this makeup, but I do not own a pencil sharpener, which is quite drastic, so I'm just gonna use it anyway. But for what I'm watching right now, I've just finished The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm definitely going to start rewatching it straight away because it was so good. I'm rewatching One Tree Hill again. I'm watching Grey's Anatomy. They are currently my top 3, but I feel like there's so many good things. Really excited for All Stars Love Island, and I'm also really looking forward to the next series of The Traitors, because I watched that for the first time for the celeb one. I didn't watch the original. I really wanted to, I just never got around to it. And then when I watched the celeb one, I was just obsessed. I was so hooked. Me and my family don't really binge watch anything. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is dead now. I used it just for this video in a makeup look, and it worked really well, and now it's kind of like piercing my lips. I don't know if anyone's had that. It's like scratching the surface of my lip off. I'm gonna have to grab another liner, I think, because I think this has just died at this point. Just grabbed this one from About Face Beauty, which is a really similar shade. I think my favourite lip liners right now are the Maybelline, that Maybelline one, and the Rimmel lip liners, but this is really nice too. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I feel like I need some new things to watch as well, because I'm doing mainly rewatches at the moment. I did watch I'm a Celeb though, as I do every single year, and I'm so sad that that's over. I'll be honest, Shona was one of my favourites, and I did want her to win. Shona, H and Angry Ginge, I think, were my top 3. I think for Ginge, between Tom and Ginge, like Tom was hilarious, I loved Tom, but I did want Ginge to win because I felt like it would mean more to him. He's like me, he grew up watching it and loves the show, so I'm quite happy that he won it. I think it was such a good series as well. So for the question asking what I'm listening to, right now I feel like I'm listening to quite a lot. I've got a few Christmas songs on a playlist, mainly the Sabrina Carpenter Christmas songs at the moment. I'm obsessed with those, like Nonsense Christmas, I think will never not be iconic. But I also am absolutely loving Dasha's new album. I actually got to see her on tour quite a while ago. It was probably about a year and a half ago. I say quite a while ago, it's not that long ago, and she was absolutely incredible. I personally love to find an artist that's still quite small, doing the smaller venues, nice intimate venues, and then for some reason they all seem to blow up. So for example, with Sabrina Carpenter, I was obsessed with her. I loved her music before she blew up. Now everybody knows her, I'm like, oh, it's all the big venues. Like, I'm happy for her, but for me, like, I couldn't get tickets for her last tour because she was so popular. Like, I went to tour before that. I actually saw her live for the first time with the Vamps 9 years ago, and I was a fan of her before that, so I feel like I've watched her grow, and it's been really nice for her, and I'm so happy for her on that. It's so frustrating when you then can't get tickets for like your favourite artist when they grow. Talking about favourite artists, I'm gutted I couldn't get Ariana tickets. Like, I'm so sad I couldn't get Ari tickets. Like, I've loved her for so long. But I'm still going to hold out hope. I'm still going to try when it gets closer to time that there's going to be some Ticketmaster resales. Hopefully, we'll see anyway. So Dash's album, been loving that. What else have I been liking? I love Perry's new album. Not that new anymore, but I love Perry's album. I love her Christmas song as well, especially with the video. Oh, every time, I love it. Then I've also been listening to a lot of Taylor. I love the new album. I think Actually Romantic is 1000% the best song. However, I've been listening to a lot of old school Taylor stuff. I just love like throwing it back to her old stuff, like especially like the country style stuff. I'm still loving Red Vault songs. Obsessed. So I've been listening to a lot of that at the moment. I've talked that much that I've killed my camera's battery, so I've just put a new one in. I'm not going to make this too much longer. I still got a couple of things that I was going to answer. So I had a question asking about how much I'd be sharing in my personal life. Whether I'd be sharing more, and I'm restarting my vlogging channel, things like that. I actually had a couple of questions about this. I want to kind of put it all in one because I had another one asking if I was in another relationship, whether I'd be sharing it online or not. And the quick answer to this is yes, about them both. I definitely want to start sharing more about my personal life. I want to be putting more in social media like I have done today. I feel like I've really opened the lid today with oversharing with you guys, which is what I want to do. Like, I want this to be an honest little corner where we can just talk about anything and everything and just being like so real, where you guys can really get to know me on another level. I think if I was in another relationship, I would like to share that with you guys because I wouldn't want to be hiding anything from the channel because I think it just wouldn't work. I'm not one to lie on social media and hide things on social media. I think if I'm really going to take the vlogging seriously and do it on a regular basis, that'd be really hard to do around a relationship. I personally don't see myself getting into one anytime soon. To be completely honest, majority of my life I spend in my office filming videos, in my bed editing videos, might see a couple of my friends. Otherwise, I could be going into London to events, but majority of the boys I see at events are in relationships or they are gay, which I love having gay friends, but not quite the one you want for meeting boys. So I don't really see that happening anytime soon. However, never say never, never say never. Yeah, I'd love to start sharing more of my personal life. There is going to be a little bit of a line drawn for me though. I won't be including my family in it, mainly for their privacy. They're not really into cameras and things like that. It's not their kind of thing, so I won't really be sharing them. But any friends that want to be filmed or anybody that I'm around that, you know, doesn't mind, then of course I'll be bringing them in on it. But otherwise it's going to be mainly just me on this channel, to be completely honest. But I'm really excited to see what's come for 2026. So I'm going to end the video there because I feel like I have been rambling for the longest time. But the next time you will all see me after this will be in an actual vlog, which is so exciting. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you so much for bearing with me. And thank you so much for watching this video. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!